trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and goodbyes. Maybe a love like ours can leave out its call. Seasons come and pass, one after the last, and along we go. The shift and pull of the tides never sleeps. But if I had a boat and oceans to cross, then I would sail them. Since I have this promise to keep, I will keep you near, and you are safe with me, and we'll stay with you until the always were a dreamer as a child. Every night I watch the stars hoping for a sign. My father said, come down to earth, my son. But in my heart I knew there's something more out there. So follow me, just follow me. Yeah, follow me to another world. So follow me, just follow me. Yeah, follow me. Don't you wanna lose that ball and chain? Climb over the walls and see what lays beyond. You just gotta reach out and grab my hand. Together we can make it to a paradise. Follow me, just follow me. Yeah, follow me to another world. So follow me, just follow me. Yeah, follow me to another world. To another world. To another world. Yeah, follow me to another say we love, we say we love. We gave it all, we gave it all. We say we love, we say we love. But we were just innocent until something better came along.
Somewhere above the city lights, you're falling in love. Still aware, you know it is true that you are lost, and this is a clue. Love is forever, love is forever. To believe, you gotta let go. Light as a feather, light as a feather, lucid dreaming over Tokyo. With the music still in your ears, you're on your way to conquer your fears. In this dream of your own desire, there is someone calling your name. Love is forever, love is forever. To believe, you gotta let go. Light as a feather, light as a feather.
When I think about the way we used to be, when I think about the things you took from me, I know that I am so much better, better. When I look at what I've done, now that we're apart, when I look at what I've won, I've come so far. I know I'm so much better off, and baby, you don't belong. I could feel it in my bones. There was something going on, that shade of doubt hanging around that old. Just a lesson that I've learned, and so it goes. Tables turn, and you're on your own. When I think about the way, when I think about the way we used to be, when I think about the things you took from me, I know that I am so much better, better. When I look at what
No better way to start your Thursday than the Paladins Global Series. I know that's what I think, Gore. And what about you?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to start every weekday.
Yeah, I agree.
In fact, Monday through Friday. Well, I guess technically Tuesday through Friday.
Tuesday through Friday, yeah.
Mondays, unfortunately, well, I guess not unfortunately, it's still console.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of sets there, so maybe that's unfortunate if that's what you're thinking. But I love console personally. Give me 12 sets. I'll do it. I'll avoid sleep.
I think 8's a good number.
I think
8 sounds like a great
We're okay
number.
with 8.
We'll just keep it
we
there.
love you, console, but we're okay with 8. We don't need to raise the number here. But we are in Southeast Asia, and we've got the standings ready for you to continue the Global Series, which for me has been pretty exciting to watch. I've come to work, and it's cool to be able to come to work, talk about video games that you play. So you always got to remember that caveat. But I've come to work, and, at times when you watch the Global Series, you see Ryder in the lead here, still some, I guess, middle-of-the-pack play from Authority and Wolfpack. We'll see if they can step it up, and Five Gods as well. But, when you have an opportunity to genuinely be excited about what you're watching, and I think that's what we've seen the Global Series kind of do for us lately. It's been some great games, not only at the top, but as far as at the bottom. A lot of the upsets coming through this week.
And it's also interesting to see what all these different regions do with some of the new champions. I mean, Koga hasn't necessarily been as played as much, although North America is starting to pick him up.
He certainly
Console has been banning him out constantly, so looking at with like SEA, LATAM, I'm kind of curious to see who gets picked up and where.
Well, let's take a look at our set number 1. I believe it's Authority and Ryder. Is that what it is? Yes, it is. Authority and Ryder. They will be in the first matchup in Jaguar Falls is where they will go. It is a best of 3 here in SEA. And, you know, my journey with understanding SEA and Authority and Ryder is interesting. There was a long time where we just got the stats. We just got what happened, and we would have to recap it in a video over the week. And now we get to see these guys actually play. We get to see their decisions, their bans, their choices. And I think that, to me, is really indicative of the growth that Authority, Ryder, and the entirety of the Southeast Asian community has had in Paladins. Very passionate people, very passionate, really, I think, just part of the world that, not the biggest, especially in their population for Paladins, but gosh, I mean, so committed, so dedicated.
And at this rate, you're seeing a big upset. I mean, Wolfpack has always been the team that's on the top in SEA, and now you're looking at Authority not only keeping up with them, but Ryder stepping up ahead of them. And if this set goes well for Ryder, they can continue their undefeated streak. Of course, if Authority can win overall, they'll at least tie it up.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be up to Wolfpack a little bit later to see if they can actually start making those strides. Sitting down at number 3 is not necessarily the spot you would expect a LAN representative.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Cassie and Androxus here taking for Ryder, and Con Fernando as well. It does appear that Koga is available, but we will see the Shaolin, and this is something that, wow, Gore, you know, when I think about it, I just think is a sleeper pick, like the Talus.
Yeah.
People have given up on Shaolin. You know, the Desert Withdraw, the Desert Shadow skill, just having that nerf really threw him out of the meta, but maybe there's something with Impaler Arrow. I wonder if we'll see that talent as we see the Ying last pick, and we get ready to head into game between Authority and Ryder on Jaguar Falls.
I really like Ryder's draft. Everything they've picked up is incredibly strong. Khan, I think, makes it excel even more, but having the Androxus is something that has been making or breaking teams lately. If you have a good Androxus player, it could be just the difference between a, not necessarily an easy win, but a quicker win for you if he's able to go into the backline and get those clean headshots. And it is going to be Dam's Essay piloting that one, so I won't be too surprised if he is able to accomplish that.
And there it is. On the other side of things, looking at who will have to be going up against damage-wise, it is Zed, who is running the Impaler Arrow talent. Let's take a look at that one on the Shaolin towards the left-hand side. That talent, it's explosive arrows. It's an additional 300 damage. It knocks back all enemies in the radius. However, you have to give up the stun. That is usually applied with Shaolin's arrow if it knocks you into a surface. Very interesting talent. I like these. I actually want more of them in Paladins, where you have this kind of give and take. Very much like the Life Exchange Ying, which we've seen actually to great avail be very successful in this scene. If we take a look at his loadout as well, Gore, we can probably see how he's setting this up. You see a lot of Run Like the Winds. You usually see Quicksand, though, reducing the cooldown of his Impaler Arrow. And right now, Zed does nothing and then goes down to I Am Ray, who gets the flank on the left-hand side.
27% picked up for Ryder in the meantime, although Psy Conqueror gets caught out. I feel like he was trying to get aggressive, didn't realize the flank that had come around behind him, and the same thing goes at this point for the rest of Authority. They're all kind of locked down in this corner, and they're starting to get pressured. Cassie's looking to loop around the side.
You know, it's interesting, but I think about this Con, and we look at him paired, right? Gore, 75% here for Ryder, looking to aggress still. Can they get back? And Psy Conqueror doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it, just barely. It's the Exaction Cassie, which we've seen make a comeback here as far as Paladins esports, and this should be Ryder's point as they look to zone. Even against the Makoa, it has not proved fruitful. But again, Gore, my question is, you know, look at Khan, right? And how they like to pair him with the Bomb King. They paired him this time with the Androxus. But if you take a Shaolin with an explosive arrow, and you get that 20%, that's 1,500 damage on that explosive arrow shot. That's ridiculous.
And being able to augment that, one of the things about Shaolin, the reason
for 4 seconds, by the way.
The reason he started to fall out is because people were learning how to play around the stun. They know exactly what walls you're aiming for. This lets you deal that extra damage without having to worry about the setup. It is going to be unfortunate that you don't have the 100 to 0 potential you used to have, but you're still going to be able to clean it out. And if you can get that combo going, like you said, it's going to be a very clean set of damage coming.
Oh, man, and that just feels the worst. Khan does not have a cooldown on his shield, and so he just holds it right up, says, talk to the hand for the Leon. And she's usually the one doing the talking, the Scion of House Ico, but the Primus of House Ico says, don't you forget who taught you how to fight when you were just a wee lass here on the battlefield. So Khan still in control and running the American skin as well. Minute 25 left, Ryder on the push.
Aggressive, like just headshot.
Punch.
That is exactly what I wanted to see coming down from Dam's Essay. And again, that's like the make or break for an Androxus player, right? You'd miss those 2 headshots, you fall back immediately. I'm surprised he didn't get aggressive. The reversal not going to be enough to save his life, though. So he does have to fall back, but you still have the Khan, the Cassie, and the Fernando applying pressure.
Yeah, and I think Dam's Essay maybe makes an interesting choice there. He doesn't decide to punch through the bowling ball. Iron Ray just sent Salmon Time off. That felt like a little bit of an easy kill. I don't know if she didn't have the dash available. She must not have, but that looked a little too easy. And that just turns it around. They were all falling back, and now I think Authority maybe under pressure that they didn't think they were going to have to experience.
I'm having flashbacks. Yesterday, Kenga was actually playing on Ascension Peak, and because Nina was playing this Cassie at that angle, it was always just knock people off of the map. It doesn't happen often on Jaguar Falls. I think normally you'll see a Hyper Beam, maybe a Makoa hook, maybe the Overpowered from Khan. Not often are you going to see Cassie bop people off, so being able to not only pick that up, like you said, it looks relatively easy as well, not paying attention to their surroundings or who they're against. And because of that, you can feel Authority getting pressured. I mean, they're just kind of locked around. They have to hold this payload. Yeah. And admittedly, it's not working out well for them.
Oh, yeah, and that's gonna do big. Try to get the hook. That would be a really great highlight, wouldn't it, if we see that. Barrick, I don't think, has the dash. He's got to run through to contest, even though the shield saves his life for a moment. But Ryder, they're going to push this one through, and it's mostly due to the Khan's impact on the Overpower. They do sacrifice that one for the next round, which would have been important. But so far, so good.
I mean, when you're 4-0-6 and 2-0-6 on your frontliners, you don't tend to worry too much, I think, about throwing some of your ults out there, especially when your support is also
never died.
deathless.
Yeah.
So having 3 members on your team that have not died is going to look great for you. And then on top of the fact that Khan is dealing a lot of damage. I mean, just look at where he is sitting. It's not going to be the top. But, I mean, 23K coming out from him. He just walks up every now and then and is bullying the Leon, the Shaolin, the Makoa.
Yeah.
Headshot after headshot after headshot.
I mean, look at this loadout. I was going to say, I wonder if he's going to run a lot of Hope Guard. Because when you have your shield up and the Illusory Rift hits, the Ying ultimate, it's a lot of healing, and it's everywhere. And you could just put your shield up, and you get so much value out of that. It's really hard to kill you. But into the Breach, he's gone more into that, and he's gotten the movement speed for enemies, for teammates around him. And this is really helping the Androxus to maybe get in. Obviously, Androxus most likely augmenting his loadout with Elusive and being able to get some movement speed on the dashes himself, and there it is, 30%. But man, he just hasn't been able to make use of it. Maybe a champion like a Tyra, like a Shaolin, might be able to benefit from that movement speed a little bit more.
If you can get rid of Dolan here for Authority, that's going to make it a lot bigger. But he walks out alive, gets the heal off. His shield is still going to be good, and he just backs away as they pick up kill after kill. Finally, you get rid of the Cassie, but you lose 3 people in the process.
Not what you wanted. And Psy Conqueror, it just feels like it's not enough, you know? And to me, this is what I always look at. I like the Makoa here. The Makoa Barrack is something that could definitely work. They're so offensive. They can both, like, kind of tread the middle ground of being on the point and still standing up to a Fernando. But Fernando Khan, you know, the way that they can play on with a firing line on Jaguar Falls, it's just a really tough lineup for a Barrack to deal with. This Makoa has to be getting more value out of it. Psy Conqueror, honestly, doing a decent job, but Sergetto, despite hitting the hook there, still goes down to Iron Ray, and that might just be a microcosm of what's gone wrong today.
And honestly, it's this interesting push and pull between these two front lines that we've typically seen. Khan Makoa always getting banned.
Yeah.
This time, both make it through, but normally when that's the instance, Khan is the one that gets first pick. Khan is immediately the scoop up, and Authority go for that Makoa. That is their first pick. That's the option they wanted. And so you're giving away all of this extra damage, this shielding, overpowers.
Too, right? I mean, Europe, they're going to take the Makoa, but maybe North America will take the Khan.
True. And being able to look at the regions, I guess, because SEA is a lot closer to Europe, they're probably scrimming a lot more European teams.
Yeah, possible.
I think right now, though, Ryder is showcasing why, admittedly, Makoa is probably not the #1.
Right. I mean, you look at it in Khan, I mean, what Khan brings that Makoa doesn't, with firing line, is quite a lot of damage. Nice shot there as well. But just the hit scan potential, and it's just the threat from on the ground and on high. It's the thing that Furia brings and that Genos brings. It's the ability to just finish off somebody who's getting low. Maybe it's a Willow, maybe it's a Drogo, so you just have a lot of coverage on your threats. And the Overpower is something that is an instant kill. Makoa, the Ancient Rage, it's going to buy you time, but you need to have a lineup that will succeed with that time being bought. Right now, Dolan can turn around, overpower this Moldamba, and then they're out of healing, or overpower this Makoa. I think that's what he's going to go for. He looks to be setting up for it. Oh, but he's worried about Lilian, so he's going to go back, maybe look to get a heal onto his teammates, and then aggress again, knowing that the Ancient Rage is down.
What a team player, worrying about your teammates to go for the kill. I mean, come on. Ryder.
He still dies. He's the only one that dies after that.
He gives his life to make sure they can all retreat. But they still have 30 seconds, so he's going to be able to respawn and get
Yeah.
back in time. This is going to be the regroup period for Ryder, about 15 seconds, I would say, before they start pushing maybe as hard as they can.
Yeah.
The goal at this point is, how do we get back to the payload? How do we stop it from regressing? And then hold overtime and hope for it. They have Immortal, they have a Cursed Arm, and they have Overpower. They have 2 things to keep them alive and 2 things that can really kill off some members of Authority. And if you need to displace someone that's a frontline, I can't think of a better team to do so.
Same in time, and I am Ray poking out, and here's the con, just to like make things difficult, and he actually doesn't block it. Same in time, though, does not find the ability to kill the Cassie, and that is something that they were looking for. Is he going to go for the overpower? He's low. I think he needs a full health bar here to feel comfortable with it. He's kind of got it. The battle shout up in 3 seconds here. It could be the end, because it is. Of course, the dome shield now no longer available. Damns Essay up into the air with a firing line, Androxus, and now it's going to be the overpower. Surjecto, how's the water taste, my friend? Let me know when you get back from your base.
Wanda doing whatever he can, trying to hold on to this. Dread Serpent's been pretty solid so far, but unfortunately, when you throw him onto a tank that just soaks all of the damage, he just kind of shrugs it off afterward. He walks into the wall for a second and was like, cool, now let me show you what I can do.
Right,
and
right.
when Khan turns his gun onto you, especially as a support,
Yeah.
you need to run.
You need to run. You need to get on out of there. Let's take a look, of course, at the maps when we get a chance to see where Game 2 will head. It's going to be a quick one if Ryder continue to dominate like that. There was just really, you know, no ability for Authority to have even a presence. And maybe that is why the Bright Marsh ban comes through from Authority. They don't feel very confident against these smaller maps against Ryder. And now it's Serpent Beach, so you have a little bit more wiggle room. The Shaolin didn't show up the way I think they were hoping for on Zed.
And it's just one of those things, people still remember Shaolin. Like, they still have him
remember you.
a little bit fresh in their mind, where it's just like, even though he's not been around for a little while, like, he was still a big threat. There's still a way to play against him. And even when you switch over to this explosive arrow style, yes, you're getting that extra damage, but like you said, you lose that utility of the stun, which is where we would typically see a Shaolin get the combo off, right? He's going to be able to pierce you into a pillar and then planted to get the rest of your health down. And once that's taken away, you have to have someone else set you up.
Authority and Ryder have been kind of trading out their bans for the front lines, and now it seems to be the con that Authority has realized is something they will not allow in this game at all. It was too effective, and so now it's time to just ban it out. Ruckus and Inara taken instead, and the Zen. The Ruckus first pick, notable. Barrack and Strix secondly, notable as well. Authority definitely have a strategy, but they've given Ryder plenty of time to draft against it, and there's still a Kinessa. One thing to take the sniper, one thing to take the sniper so early that you give them the potential to make a lot of counter adjustments.
And it's an interesting pickup with everything else on the team. I mean, Androxus would pressure out, say, a Kinessa if she shows up. It'll pressure out a Cassie as well. But if they don't grab another frontline here, I'm curious to see how Authority is going to work. Because Barrack, even though he can be a great solo tank, at the same time, he can get taken down really quick if he does not have the right coverage and the healing. So Fernando pretty much has to come through that.
I think so. I mean, Fernando can do the job of pressuring the back line, and he could get a little bit of help from Barrack on the objective, or he could stay on the objective himself, and Barrack can try to hold one of the high ground spots on Serpent Beach. I'm really interested, though, to see how this Cassie plays, because it's a pick that, to me, doesn't seem like, oh, wow, there's a Willow, there's a Drogos available. I know the Androxus is on the other side, but those champions can still be effective. And maybe the Cassie is thought, okay, we got the Andro, so let's be a little more conservative. But I think a lot of times when you see a Cassie like that, they're other top-tier champions, it's comfort. I think it's just comfort. I Am Ray plays it last game. Seems like his champion pool just fits to play Cassie again. And she's not bad on this map. She's pretty good on almost every map.
Some interesting change-ups, just notably Sergeto, who was the Makoa last game, now on Maldamba, and the Maldamba from last game, Wanda, is now on Androxus. So I'm curious to see how that is going to translate. I don't normally see the support flexing around.
Talk about a competitive champion pool. This is the Southeast Asian Cuss Cutie.
I can play Maldamba at the high level. I can also flex out the Androxus. If he can have a phenomenal Androxus game as well,
He starts popping
Wanda
off.
might make the biggest difference for
Oh,
their team.
summon
As of
Inara!
right now, that's so good.
Yes, Slylian playing the superhero, the superwoman Stagala. I love this build, and we'll take a look at it in a second. It allows Sinara, using her wall, to knock herself up to 1,500 meters into the air. What you saw was a mere 1,200. There's even a higher level than that. It will accidentally knock the Barrack up, but that's not where the true knock-up lasts. The Solar Blessing with this Stagala, it is so tanky. The only thing, though, is that you do lose a little bit of the damage reduction cards. You lose a little bit of the cooldown reduction cards when you go for this build. And man, I don't know about Crag. I've never seen that card in an Inara deck competitively. I don't know if I ever will again.
Huh. I was thinking, okay, two points in the Sacred Ground, which is not
4
typically where you
points for
see it.
600 health?
But it's 4
every
points for
10
600
seconds
health for your wall, and I'm assuming this is Ryder just showcasing, I guess, a combo you can have with the wall. It is not something that you typically get to see, but I mean, admittedly, with the way the last game went,
that, Gore. Yeah, sure.
well, with the way the last game went, you have a little bit of room for fun, and I feel like the Summit Inara with Crag is the way to put it together.
This is where I tell my teenage Gore to have fun, but don't do anything crazy. And right now, Summit is your fun. Crag is your crazy. So I think that's just a little bit of a no-no, but you know, hey, maybe he's gonna find that value. 600 health, boy, oh boy, oh boy, every 10 seconds, what's that? Just value town for me.
I'm just curious to see
how
often Lillian uses.
Where's that 600 health, baby? Oh!
It doesn't even need it.
He doesn't even need it.
And that's been the thing. So less damage reduction.
Yeah.
That's the reason we typically see Inara be astonished. Most Inaras will also run healing in their loadout, so whenever they activate Warder's Field or anything like that, they get a little bit of healing from themselves.
Yeah.
And so you combo that with the damage reduction and the healing from a healer, and that's what makes her so difficult to kill. This is just pure Furia healing right now, keeping this Inara alive.
Listen, if you're going to go summon Inara, there's tactics to it. It's fallen out of the meta in most places because it's just not something you do. You don't need your Inara being aggressive. You need your Inara just being on the point, right? That's how a lot of Navis and mouse sports, they'll play this kind of objective on Serpent Beach. But the bigger thing is that Summit can work. She's running Treacherous Ground, so she's trying to be aggressive. I like Lilian's here approach. He was the Fernando last game, and he was trying to be aggressive. I like that a lot. Let's just see how it works here. And the thing is, when you're running Treacherous Ground, you want your Warder's Field cooldown as high as possible. That 600 health didn't really matter right there, especially when it's cauterized. It's like 6, might as well be 6 health. But if you look at his loadout one more time, just for our loadout fans, Standing Stones. You're running a Warder's Field build. Just put 5 points into reducing the cooldown. You get 5 seconds off. You're wasting 4 seconds for 600 health every 10 seconds. Doesn't make any sense if you run Treacherous Ground.
This has to be a meme build. Like, I'm just gonna have to call it out 100%. There's no way. Like, this is the kind of thing like when you are making a video and you're like, I'm gonna take community submitted loadouts and try to make them not only sound good but play a game with them.
Exactly.
That is what Lillian is running right now.
Crag OP.
It looks all right and it's working out, but I feel like it's kind of the rest of Ryder that's helping make it work out.
Man, you know what, Gore? Here's the thing. I haven't seen a team in Southeast Asia look this dominant in a long time. Ryder really are showing up to play. I mean, they're having rounds where front lines don't die. I mean, that's 2 games in a row where the first round, a 2-0 push, front line didn't die, and that's Dolan. That's incredible to me.
And it's something that the region's needed for so long. It's something we've talked about in the past a lot, where it was a very competitive region, but the problem was that the level of competition wasn't as high as it needed to be to compete on the world stage, which is always where we're looking. Because it's a global series. It's not just the SEA series. We have to be able to look at what are you going to do when you do get a land trip. You get to come either to Skillshot or wherever we happen to be hosting it.
Right.
And you go up against the likes of like Free Agent Boys, which was Burrito, or Space Station Gaming. Like, what are you going to do when you get against a team like that? And those are just other PGS teams, not even the PPL teams that you have a chance to go against. And so this has been a fresh look, not only for SEA, but a good look for them when it comes to how they're going to perform on that global stage.
Big inflamed here. Furia trying to get things going. The pyre has been lit. Oh boy, got put out real quick though. That was not what they were hoping for. Dolan though, he does find it. And though the Inara sacrifices herself, I suppose the pyre has made the worthy sacrifice. They found the Stigala. They said, you are the one who's chosen for your damage amp. And it has been authority has been put on the back foot, and the Fernando has trespassed, 72% and counting. And it's still 75% on the board. But now Wanda finds a kill. So Wanda, okay, maybe starting to shake things up.
Looking to try and fight. Does go down to Lillian. And now Ruck is still alive. Still no Hexafire. 52% charged on that.
Oh, no.
But it doesn't really matter. If you have Zen lock them down for you, that's going to be all you need. And I'm going to hit you with something that might surprise you.
Oh, no.
There is a Strix in this game.
Oh, man.
If you had forgotten about
I didn't see him.
He did die just recently, but that is about the only time I've seen him really pop up in the kill feed.
Hey, he's just running that new Nocturnal build where he doesn't appear all game.
To go up there.
I'm kidding. Salmon Time's a good player.
Inara.
He's a good player. He really
Yes.
is, but it's just a bad lineup. And it's a Ryder who just looked dominant. Dolan hasn't died all game. I mean, what are you going to do when your Ruckus doesn't die all game?
And it's just moments like this. He pops his own shield, he falls back. Fury is about to give him another shield, if not just the full healing. And he has been laying into Fernando, and that's the big difference for me. Normally, I think Fernando, your shield's good. It's going to save you a little bit. You pop that up, you get the heal, drop that and start fireballing him again. Like, get the damage down. You're not going to out-DPS him, but you need to get something back. Standing there with your shield, the staring contest is going to go in favor of the mech,
That's
not
right.
of Fernando.
Eventually, it goes the way of the mech. But you know, that's the thing. When I see Fernando's drafted and they don't get aggressive, they don't use that Scorch, it troubles me, but I don't know if there's anything he could do here. I mean, I Am Ray showing why the Exaction Cassidy has been back in business, especially when you hit your shots. It is extremely valuable. And he's been able to pressure out the Strix, and he's been a natural predator almost to the Strix, more so than the Strix has been to him. And again, it's comfort. It's the fact that they don't have a natural airborne kind of champion. Like, oh, wow, nice Red Serpent to flush everybody out there from the high ground. Can they capitalize on this? It's game over if they can't, because I Am Ray and the rest of Ryder are looking to push this in.
Flashbang was good, at least for a second. Unfortunately, Salmon Time's still going to go down. Now the aggression
He
comes out.
died.
Dolan finally gets taken out, not only giving the streak away, but he dies with the Hexafire available. 40 seconds left. He should be able to make it back. The question is going to be, can the rest of Ryder pressure this, or they have to fall back?
Well, it looks like they might be able to make something happen. Ton of switch-ups here. Zed went from the Shaolin to the Barrack. We saw Wanda go from the Maldamba to the Androxus. A lot of just switch-ups. And to me, it just says, you know, maybe this team a little bit less practiced, a little bit less of I think this spells less diversity than more diversity, to be honest. I think these are a little wild and crazy times to be doing that for both players. But I do think that there's a lot of good things that have happened. They've been able to stabilize a couple of times, but the draft clearly is hurting them. They don't have any way to deal with this Solar Blessing Inara when she gets that full heal, and she's going to get it very soon unless, oh wow, the Furia somehow does not give it to her. I mean, will they be able to defend here? Or overtime is taken away.
Can you imagine?
I think they did it.
If this was a standard Inara build, how difficult it would be to kill Lillian.
Oh, man.
All these times, like, you watch Inara's health bar go down. This is probably the easiest to kill an Inara has ever been in a game.
Yeah.
And that's saying something, because it's still really hard to get rid of her.
Right.
As long as this Furia looks at her. But the damage reduction, the extra healing, the stuff that normally contributes to her staying alive
Right.
is just not having that impact. That's why you see Lillian with 5 deaths. If this was a standard build, this would be probably a 4-0. That probably would have never have happened. Lillian would still be in the forefront.
Yep.
Now, even the first fight that Authority were able to push back on might not have changed. And they're relying a lot on, I want to say, Dolan here to just fill that role. The 600 health, the emitter cooldown, trying to like fill in the role of a tank while still trying to have a little bit of rockets on the side.
Yep, yep. And I like the Metal Mark. This used to be kind of the card you go into for the Ruckus. The thing that hurts the card is the nerf, but then also just the duration. That 2 seconds, it's just not a long time to stack. You can maybe get 24% damage reduction at max for a moment, but it's fleeting. It's fleeting, and you have to use a lot of your resources. That is just a consistent thing we've seen, huh? And that just works really well to finish off Psy. It's a 3-man wipe. Dolan trying to get the 4th, and he will. Great stuff on the Ruckus and the missile launchers. This is most likely going to be it. Can Authority come back and Salmon Time take over?
81%. This would be the best time as a Strix to get like every headshot in the world. I just don't see it happening. Hexafire comes out and the damage is already being laid down by Ryder.
I like it though, 96%, and anything can happen. Wanda finds an accursed arm kill. Lillian looking a little low. There's a Solar Blessing and it heals up all her friends, but now this Androxus is out on the prowl, and what are they going to do? Zergetto finds Dolan. Lillian looking to back up. It's comeback mechanic, my friends. It is still a game, and oh, they have done it. Psy Conqueror finds Darkness Impact. Maybe, just maybe, Ryder counted their chickens before they hatched. Authority, first objective of the day.
And it was just actually on the back of a flashbang that really started that off. One of the things that you could see Cassie, as well as Zen, as well as Furia, all looking at walls instead of their opponent is because they couldn't see. They didn't know where they were going. They were just trying to get out. And I think that was actually a very big starter overall for Authority, although the follow-up from the Accursed Arm, every ult that got dropped pretty much consecutively after that was clean for Authority. And again, one clean team fight. That's all you need with the comeback mechanic to make sure that you can at least hold on to a point.
Zed and the rest of Psy and his team trying to do their best to push now. And this is a different look. It's a different look for both teams. Reiner has not defended at all in this game, in this set. So how do they do? Again, you mentioned that the Inara, not as tanky as we've seen. The Solar Blessing still doing wonders. The healing charts a moment ago showed about a 75,000 difference in the favor of Ryder's healing. And now that difference is maintained. It's still about 60, 75. And it is in the favor of the Furia. But the Maldamba has started to still continue making an impact. And Mending Spirits is where you'll see the Maldamba in this kind of matchup start to hopefully help Psy Conqueror get to that back line, stay aggressive. And it was kind of also on the back of a Cursed Arm Gore by Wanda that allowed this point fight to be retaken.
Being able to get a very aggressive, but picking up important kills, that would have made a big difference. But Authority, I mean, at this point, when your push is not going this well, this ult charger round, they use the Accursed Arm here 50 seconds before the timer goes down. And I'm wondering if that's going to be able to charge back up. That was a big reason, like you said, that they captured the point in the first place. If they don't have that for next round, that might make the difference of breaking them down. Yeah,
Dam's essay is kind of low here. Furia, Darkness Rom trying to get there, but he can't. Dam's essay going to fall. Lillian throws the wall up. This time not using it for jumping, but he is getting that 600 health back, which we've talked about many times. Will the meme build, will this kind of weird decision come back to haunt them? That would be quite a story, wouldn't it? Salmon Time now has him line of sights. Earthen Guard not up yet, but Psy Conqueror is going to fall. Salmon Time hits a nice shot, but now he's getting aggressed on into the back line by the Zen, and that's Dam's essay finding Zergetto, cutting off the healing, and now it seems like almost assuredly over for Zed, who him and his lonely turret will fall without anyone caring in the world.
Exaction Cassie, again, has been showcased to be impressive, I would say, to say the least, with the way players have been being able to bring it back. And I like the way I Am Ray plays it. It's still aggressive, still ends up costing him his life every now and then.
Yeah.
But being able to run things like Incitement, it does change your loadout just a little bit from what we typically would see instead of running things like Blast Shower.
I'm telling you, man, Incitement, Excitement as well. And give up.
4, 3.
I don't know. Maybe you get a lineup and you pick her and you just give up kinetics. I mean, I like kinetics. It's good. But there's a lot of champions nowadays give you that anti-heal. It's a good late game. And Exaction is a late game build. So if you just build up Cauterize, I don't know. It really depends on if you need to finish off shields, because she does that very well also. Wanda looks like he will be dead. Good timing. And that's looking good again for Reiner.
Killing spree.
2 big kills already on the board. Authority falling back as things go. And honestly, you don't have much of a choice when Cassie is hitting you like this. You are not safe. But Dolan going to be getting aggressive. Has the Hexafire. And that made a small difference last time around. I expect maybe this time he'll try to hit a bigger ult if possible. There's going to be the Dread Serpent again. And that's something that could start this off.
And Cassie just positioning to have a high ground look at the barrack. Zed finds Darkness Rom. And I guess I Am Ray just playing very, very cautiously, and that was a smart decision. It looked like maybe I Am Ray let go of an opportunity to fire at the barrack, but wanted to stay out of combat. Oh, gets one shot on the Wanda, gets the second. That was what turned it around last time, Gore, and I don't think that's going to be the case this time.
And now you have all this pressure again coming from the high ground. Psy Conqueror going to pop the Immortal, try and stay alive. 93% though, and there's the Hexafire to not only take out the shield, but push back Authority.
Dam's essay is so low, but I Am Ray stays alive, and he finds the kill in the Salmon Time. Gives Peel the Dam's essay. Wanda finds a kill himself. Great stuff from him, but it's going to be Authority who go down here. Reiner, they seem to keep this one very quick and in the pocket. They grab that victory, and I believe remain undefeated here in SCA.
Would have been quicker if they weren't running Krag and Nara. Those 4 points, I'm I'll try it one day.
I'll try it.
I'll try it one day.
I
We'll
don't think
see
I
where
will.
it gets me.
No, I don't think I will.
She has a
No.
talent for her wall,
Yeah.
and I could not tell you what it is because I've never.
It's called trimmers.
I've never even bothered.
And what will happen is, unfortunately, with Crag, you will not be able to make use of it because your wall cooldown will be lower than the ability for your card to reset. It's a 10-second internal cooldown on the card of the healing. That's what makes it. If it's 600 times every single time you put up your wall, trimmers could be cool.
Yeah.
That might be nice. I could go for that. That would be pretty meany. You just couldn't get the value. All right, well, we've got another set coming up for you guys, and we do have some information as well. Wolfpack, as they will be playing, have actually disqualified round 1. So we will have this set starting round 2 here. And usually what this means is a team is confident. A team is confident in being able to maybe take game 2 and 3.
And that's what they did last week. They showed up, or they didn't show up, I guess, for game 1. They were late, and I think there's a 10-minute period essentially from like start time to 10 minutes later. You have to have started the game. Your team needs to be there, and if you don't hit that threshold, you give up. You forfeit that game.
It's really weird.
That's what they did last week. I'm assuming it was
Somebody at
probably a
school,
very
maybe?
similar scenario this time around. And so if they are feeling as confident as they were last week, they'll just get the next 2 games.
Five Gods here on Bright Marsh, man. Anybody can get a win on Bright Marsh.
True.
So Five Gods, I'm like, man, this happened.
This is
Let's make it. Let's make
You're
the
set
most
up.
of this. Yes, because they weren't against Five Gods last week. They might have been versus Authority. I don't know. Who were they? It wasn't Ryder
I
that
think
they
it was,
came
yeah,
back
no,
on.
it was,
It had to
I
be
think it was
Authority.
Authority.
So Five Gods are now like, okay, you gave us a chance. We better take it. All the threats off the board. The Willow's still here though. Will we see that first pick, or will it be the Inara? Don't tell me it's something like really random.
You are not welcome here.
It is the Inara. Beautiful.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm wondering, is this the Kraganara? No, it's not going to be the Kraganara.
It
We're going
won't
to
be.
need to go back, I think, to the realm of, well, the realm, just in general, the actual realm.
Yeah.
Where Ryder lives is ascended beyond the realm as of
right.
right now. So
That's
this is
right.
probably going to have a lot more damage reduction, a little bit more healing, and especially with the Moldamba behind it. I'm looking
Oh,
now
this
for
is great.
Wolfpack
No, I love
to
it.
try and find a Willow.
Yeah. I mean, I like Five Gods grabbing the Zen. It seems to still have maintained itself in Southeast Asia, and I think this isn't region specific. I think this is just mentality-wise. I think people who believe in the Zen can make it work. It's kind of like the Tooth Fairy. You know, if you believe in it, you'll probably get some money under your pillow, and you could just leave it at that. And I think Zen will still be effective if you grab them. The team has to just have that same type of synergy with it. Eevee, though, I think we're still going to see a wormhole. I don't think we'll see a snow globe here.
I
know
don't
it's
think-
translated.
Wolfpack not only will try it, but it's just one of those things that I think a very specific team style has to come with the snow globe.
Yeah.
And I feel like even G2 are trying to figure out where exactly that style falls.
Oh, okay.
Tyra, Terminus,
see that at all.
Furia, Fernando, Eevee. It's a solid lineup for Wolfpack, but I feel like there's a very high execution threshold, whereas Dead
There
Zone
is.
and then Zen plus not Moldamba, Inara and Moldamba makes it so easy to just survive.
I mean, I like it. Let's head in the game, man. I want to see how this works out. Pretty cool. It's good to see all these diversity of champions in the same region as well.
Eevee is that she's the hometown girl for SEA. Like that's the one that everyone wants to go back to.
She's
right?
the girl
we
next
always
door.
talk about Cassie. I think that was the case for North America, even the case for Europe. Like that's the one everyone tends to fall back on.
I'm looking for.
But Eevee is all SEA.
And it's Wormhole. Oh, this is Knife, Sailor, Muxt, Sacred Asura. I mean, him and Furia. I mean, I see that too. Those two paired so well together. And it's a Decimation Terminus. This is going to be rough. It's going to be up to Don Quixote and Sancho Panza to figure this one out. Fortunately, it's just Mr. Quixote in this game, along with Ju.
Battle has begun.
On the Yomi Zen, can it be enough? Trexie on the Inara has a very big role playing the solo front line against the Fernando and the Terminus.
This is one of those things. Wolfpack, even though they will DQ,
he didn't even know.
They are a very, very strong lineup and can usually afford to play around, although they're starting out a little bit weaker. If you can get this kill right here, that's going to be a big one because it's onto the Furia.
Yeah, that's big. Oh, look at this. Mux is so low. Why are you not pushing this? Where's the rest of the team? Come on. There it is. Why are you not rolling out there? Get them all. Get them all, baby. Get them all. That's what we're looking for. Give them a real Georgia summer. Hot.
The real
Heavy
choice.
and wet. 51% and counting for 5 gods here on the objective.
I mean, you are in a marsh. It's definitely going to be as humid as it
That's
is
what
in
I'm
Georgia.
saying.
So they're feeling it, especially with the flames coming
Give
up.
it to
And if
him.
you
Give
can
him
get
the
this kill,
spray.
get
Oh,
this in the area
boy.
and show them that there's a reason you shouldn't DQ in your first game every week.
Why would you go that route, though? Wow, he's got all points in the hideout, doesn't he? He put the treehouse in there. He's climbed up. His parents don't even know where it is. We have to take a look at that Zen loadout, my friend, because that's all 5 points of hideout. That lasted too long. Look at it.
When do we
Boy,
get
do I know my timings.
Country Zen,
Country's in.
where he swings a banner?
Take me in to the place where I begin. Oh, nice stuff there from the Zen as well. Ikju, man, he is, look at this. He's loving this. He's just like, I'm chilling here, chilling there. This man went to Cabo. He went on a cruise. He already made a photo album on Facebook. He literally has spent all of his time in hide. He spent more time in Billow than he has fighting.
Killing spree.
But he's still been so efficient.
And the time that he's fighting, he is still finding kills. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Even if he's not spending as much time alive as he is as Smoke, he is still picking up kills. And it's moments like this, too. Everyone's stacking up. They're trying to fight him over on the side. All you need is a little bit of pressure.
Oh, come on.
And I feel like Wolfpack are starting to feel it.
Oh, country's in. Take me in. All right, we're done with that one. That song wasn't my best hit, I'll say that. But at least I tried.
Country in the Realm.
I'll go
Get
back.
the album now on sale.
Country in the Realm. It's me in a cowboy hat in a field somewhere in Georgia.
I feel like we're going to have an album at some point of us doing some song that's all Paladins based. We'll have like 10 songs on it.
I love it.
We'll sell it not at this HRX, but the next one.
I want to make my money now, Gore. I want to make my money, get out of this business, retire to my farm in Georgia, live my life in peace. I think this single's going to be it.
This single.
This single's going to be my hit.
Country's in.
Country's in. Country's in. It's great, too, and the melody's never been used, which is what I love the most about
Exactly. I mean, it's just
it. Totally
like
original.
when we were coming up with theme songs for Gather Round, how every single one of them was an absolute 100% original tune. And they were just all, it was unfortunate they just all got shut down because they were too good. We couldn't use them.
That's right.
It would just be too appealing. People wouldn't be able to turn off their stream if they didn't want to watch.
I agree. Gore, why don't you give us a recap on this game? So that's fine.
Wolfpack, I think, not only feeling themselves a little bit, have been getting aggressive, but when it comes down to it, 5 gods have been solid.
Wrong.
I think it comes down to Country's in.
Take me in to the place. I'm weak.
It's not Friday, and it's not late. This is just
I'm
a
weak.
nice, typical Thursday morning.
Yo,
in
that's
SEA.
hilarious. Yo, production made the lower third. Told me to stop.
Overtime.
Country's in. He's got to stop staying in Billow, though. What? It's not
See,
me.
well, at this point, I'm actually curious as to what chat's saying. As
It's
well.
not me. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Y'all thinking the same thing. This dude's in Billow like for 8 years. That's all we're spectating. How can I not make a song about it? It's like all his journeys and his travels in Billow. He's traveled the whole world in that ability.
Is that why he's been able to? He's not only traveled the world, but he's become accustomed to that country life that he had left to see the greater world. Unfortunately,
Listen, I get it.
he's homesick.
Not everyone appreciates my country
Points
roots
in 15 seconds.
and my country voice, really.
Your country.
They're
voice.
jealous. Really. It's okay.
5,
We as a
2,
we have a lot going on here. One of these days, I'm just gonna cast. If I see another hideout 5s in, I'm just gonna cast all of SEA next week in a country accent,
Even Ryder.
even Ryder. If I see another hideout 5s in, this is the first one I've seen in about 6 months.
How you feeling about the Cassie though?
I love it.
Ghost Name is making a name for himself. That's going to be 3 quick kills, 4 quick kills for the team as they start putting pressure on it. Mux, he has Reanimate, but look how far away from the point he is. This is a stellar fight from Five Gods to be able to push back Wolfpack. And he reanimates there? Why bother? You're not going to get anything out of it. They just fall back, but no one's been standing on the point. They stopped at 69%. Now they're grabbing the objective again.
See, Gore, I could do that. I could just be mad at them, you know? I could just say all these things that you're saying. But I'm just singing.
I'm just saying.
And saying that, you know, I'm being positive, uplifting. That's what Skillshot's about. Don't you remember that?
I'm being positive and uplifting. Five Gods is doing great, except for the fact that they left someone not on the point while they were fighting. And the reanimate from Wolfpack was
Oh, man.
not where you want to reanimate.
All right, Cassie has a line of sight to the Furia. He's going to kill her. 17 streak. Finally, Knife gets it. Wow, that hasn't happened in 17 deaths on the opposite team that Cassie has also died in return. So this could change things. And it's the little moments like this that make a game under 10 minutes or over 20. Gore, do you have something to say?
Your delivery is impeccable.
Oh, man.
So far today. Knife once again going to get taken down there as the EV not having the impact. Hyra going to be gone for a little bit. Sacred Asura going to pop the in-flame, but he goes down immediately.
I love it.
And you see Must come in just a little bit too late. And that point goes once again over to Five Gods. The question is whether or not they can convert that, turn this payload into a big push, or if it's going to kind of flounder the same way the last one did.
Well,
in which case, maybe we can hear more hit songs from Country's
more
In.
hit songs. Country's In by Rain Day, featuring the hit song Country's In. Remember that? You remember like when back in the day in the 90s, the minute 58 seconds to push. I'm going to do my obligatory Paladins cast here while we're still talking about this, where they would be like Millennium by the Backstreet Boys, featuring the hit song Millennium, you know, and it would just be like the name of the album is the hit song. So it's a little redundant, but then, and also, you know, they also had a couple of good hits out there. So I need my Millennium. We've already got that, but this album also needs a couple of the other hits. You know, I need a
Rampage.
I don't know. I need another couple of 2 songs to really make this hit.
I feel like Country Zin's the kind of guy who can sing a song like Out on the Marsh, talking about his time in Bright Marsh.
Oh, that's a good one. Out on the Marsh. Baby, lock them
Where
doors
we
and
mentioned
turn that marsh down low.
the sea monster,
Yeah.
which is very deadly. If you do go boating right around Bright Marsh, it is.
Wow, I like that. All right. Knife here trying to stop this down. He doesn't like what's happening here in the push. They are at the doorstep here of Wolfpack, and Knife is trying to make some serious plays. He's actually made them. So congratulations. This Eevee going off, saving the day for sure. He's the one who knocked out Ghost Name, who was actually the Cassie on the 17th streak. He has really been carrying the weight of
So
this
far,
game.
Knife, I mean, it's seemingly out of nowhere, right, for him to get that performance. It's akin to what we've seen out of him in the past. But for this game, this Eevee has been really quiet. There's been a couple moments where Knife has gotten a kill, but it hasn't made that big impact until just now. But unfortunately, 30 seconds left. They're going to be able to come back in. They're starting to put the pressure on. Five Gods are going to get aggressive onto the payload and try to close it out. At least to put it as a 3-0 or 3-1.
It would have been the time.
15
I don't mind trying to play around the combat mechanic here, but you use the Willow Ultimate. Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, did they use any of their resources there, Gore? That's the question. So far, I mean, Ikju on this Zen has been phenomenal. We've obviously seen Ghost Name be fantastic as well. Knife has then been the only light in the darkness. He's the only sharp knife on the side of Wolfpack. As you can see with the KDAs, everybody just butter knives.
3-8, 3-11, 6-11, 1-10. He's positive, but he's only positive by 1 at 12 and 11. Knife is the kind of like the hope as of right now, the one that could potentially shut down Ghost Name and make it a little bit easier. But you have to deal with Don Quixote, you have to deal with Ikju as well. So there's multiple targets on the side of Five Gods that are going to be causing a lot of problems. And so far, point control, when it comes into just running straight at the point, they are perfect at setting it. But this is the big difference. Inflame at the very beginning of the round instead of after losing 2 people.
And that's actually really nice. And the Dread Serpent is such a good play. And this should be a dead Eevee. I mean, that was fantastic because she had Inflame, she had the movement speed, she was going in. But but she just can't get out. And that is exactly what Maldamba is so good at. There's no resilience in the EV loadout potential. There's no resilience purchased by the EV. It's a rather costly card now that it's up to 300 credits and is equal to that of Cauterize. So 70% for Wolfpack here. Despite the EV dying, she has built up some space, but they have not finished off the threat of the healing. Maldamba's on a 16 streak. Terminus going to reanimate, and that's Atrexia, LKju, or Ikju, finding already another kill onto their healer. This is not looking good for Wolfpack. It's everyone dead, all of them, and 5 gods look to close this one out.
16 streak right now for the Maldamba, and we kind of mentioned it. Cassie getting a streak, not too surprising. She kills a lot. Willow getting a streak, not too surprising. She kills a lot. Maldamba getting a streak, that means everyone on this team is being healed
all
constantly,
the time,
consistently, and it just makes it so different. Mux does not have that reanimate anymore, so if he goes down, he is out, and that wall keeps him locked away. That 96 is still going to be ticking up to 99.
Uh-oh, but it may not be over, Gore. I mean, up into the air, but this is actually a dangerous spot with the Tyra around. 139 health, and Sailor, he's going to find it there. Knife, what can he do? He's got the task of finishing off multiple members on the side of 5 gods. 2 have fallen, but 3 still alive, and 3 on the other side as well. 100%. The Inflame, it's got to get popped, and it will. Will SCA be able to make a comeback? 99 to 99. 3-1 on the objective. Atrexia gets the Hunter's Mark, and if Tyra can finish it off, which she can, Wolfpack might just be howling at a chance to take this set back.
But the Dread Serpent comes through. Mux is low. They just need to pick up this kill on the Terminus. It's going to make the difference. Stunned out of the air. Don Quixote is in a 1v1, and Knife walks away with the kill, and Ghost Name not aggressive enough. Knife and the team Wolfpack grab it back from the brink of a loss.
You know, and this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. It's the little things, like I said, under 10 minutes, over 20. It's the little things like that. And now Wolfpack, you have gotten my attention. That was an incredible turn of events. Comeback mechanic, though, and I think for 5 gods, you have to say, you should have had my attention. We should have paid more attention to the fact that we needed to zone more properly. We needed to finish off Sailor, because the hunting mark in the 3v3 with a front line, with a healer on both sides, might have been the difference in our front line falling. That extra 25% damage everyone was doing to her might have and was most likely the difference. So how do we make sure that we don't use our Willow ultimates like that from Don Quixote's side and get taken down? How do we apply pressure with our ultimates? These are things 5 gods has to figure out, because closing out a game is just as important as starting it out strongly.
I will say Wolfpack definitely made the appropriate changes in the approach to that fight. One of the things that's been happening so far is Inflame gets popped at the tail end of the fights. It's always, oh, now the only people left are going to be Fernando and Terminus. Inflame isn't going to help them anywhere near as much as this Eevee, as this Tyra, in terms of their damage, their movement. I mean, you give that movement over to a Tyra, and she can start chasing down this Cassie and making a bigger difference. So Wolfpack, looking towards that, Inflame almost charged back up, not only is something that can help you push, but something that could help you at the beginning of the next round.
Let's take a look at some of the KDAs here, see how things shaped up after that round as well. 17-6 for Ghost Name. Ikju, oh my, 24-8. Don Quixote, 18-8. Atrexia, 14-8. Ian Gremory, 2-39. Wow. And on the other side of things, the big difference maker here, obviously, we see Knife, 15-7, so he went from 12-11. So in this round, he actually has been only 4-6, which is not great, but he's found killing blows. Sailor was the one who really made that jump up, I think, for me, who was finally getting some killing blows in that round. And him just staying alive, finding those Hunter's Mark, that's going to be the win condition for me for Wolfpack. How can they protect this Tyra, and how can Terminus manage his reanimate?
As long as they hold on to these, this is the big question normally at the end of a round. Do you want to tie it up 3-3 using ults or not? But this payload hasn't moved enough that I think that's really on the mind of Wolfpacks. They're going to be sitting around like, there's no need to use our ults. We're not going to get any ground out of it. Even in overtime, you can get a lot on Bright Marsh. It's not a very long push, but committing an ult to it until it's within the base range, until it's past the arch that's actually right over Inara's head right now, just feels like maybe too much. It's an overcommit to it, and I don't expect them to do it until they feel sure of themselves.
Terminus with a power siphon here. Oh, Atrexia is just going to shut down Knife. I mean, in an overtime push, that Eevee is someone who's going to just be so effective for you. She's going to stall. She's going to put pressure onto the back line, and right now no one's close enough. I mean, I think if Knife stays alive there, it's a totally different conversation. Maldamba's actually one-shot right now. So very unfortunate. The other thing about that fight earlier on is the way they approached the beginning, Gore. We remember we saw the Eevee, we had Knife's perspective. Yeah. He was 12-11, starts the round, blinks in on the Maldamba, soars as well. Maldamba immediately uses the Dread Serpent. But as a result of that pressure, no one gets healed. Wolfpack Five Gods drop out of the point. Wolfpack have like 70% on the objective to start out. So if they could do something like that and just, even if it's not killing Ian Gremory, but it's just distracting him, that's going to be a big difference.
Half a comeback mechanic here for Wolfpack means that they will still capture a little faster overall than Five Gods. It's going to be 3% every other tick and 4% every other tick. So alternating between 3 and 4. And
right.
again, coming into it, when you have Reanimate, when you have the Ice Storm, you can apply a lot of pressure. But the Inflame is still where my eyes are at. How soon and where does that get popped?
Look at this. Look at that Hunter's Mark, man. And I like that Fernando's rolling around and checks you on the objective, but doesn't get anything because the Inflame is there and the Terminus starts to battle out. Hideout for Sin on his old country road, but he seems to not have found his destination quite yet. There it is. Sailor. See you later. Yomi strike. There's another one. Dashes in the double kill. Oh, not the triple. Ghost Name steals that one, but he gets his triple anyways. He says, no one can stop my journey. And Don Quixote will finish the last one. This could be finally Five Gods saying goodbye to this set.
The only thing Five Gods used in all of that, though, was the Inflame. They still have 4 of their 5 ults available to them, so potentially being able to hold on to a little bit. If Muggs can get back in there, although if he goes down too early, that Reanimate might not make a difference.
You know, if only he had enough points in Billow to be able to get out safely. That's really the difference. Oh,
maybe
he does.
Run half the map?
Oh, wow, he does. I had no idea.
Country Zero.
Oh, we got Gore. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Gore. At the end of the round, I converted him. Yes.
I'm on the boat. I'll buy the album.
He shall believeth. He believed. Oh, my God. Oh, man. We have some fun here, don't we? That was a great one for SEA. And you know what? You came late, and now the set's over.
And that's 2 weeks in a row. Again, like that one, to
I don't know
me,
what
like,
else to say. Yeah.
last week, you get DQ'd in your first game, then you win the next 2, and it's like, okay, whatever. Or you go to the 3 games. This week, that's like the newspaper rolled up, just bop on the nose. Like, come on, guys. Like, learn your lesson.
Yeah. Seriously. And let's take a look at the standings here. Ryder, obviously top of the top. But, you know, this is actually shaped things up.
Everyone is tied.
Everyone's tied. But at the bottom, Ryder pretty safe here. Clearly, they have proven that they are better even than their second seed who was facing them. And they've also beaten Five Gods last week as well, I think. Actually, no, Authority actually were the ones who beat Five Gods. So everyone's dealing blows except Ryder, who's just 2-0 in everybody. Tomorrow, we've got a great day for you all if you want to stay tuned. I don't know if we'll be singing. Sometimes that's just a decision I make on the fly or Gormizer makes. Sometimes he'll sing before me. Depends on how many cups of coffee we have. I've had 2. CIS in Latin America.
I think it will depend on the region.
Also, the amount of
SEA
sleep
brings
I get,
out the music in us.
SEA does bring out the music in us. It does. All right, well, that's Gore's final statement. This will be mine. Make sure to join us here for the PPL later on today. We've got a fantastic set of games. We've actually got Europe going up today. It's going to be really exciting, too. North America kind of crowning, I think, yesterday with some interesting sets. A little bit of a upset with Splice taking over SK. But now we get to see, I think, Virtus Pro one more time. And that's something that I've always wanted to see. Virtus Pro and Mouse Sports playing against each other. I just wonder where these two teams are with roster swaps and with the power struggle continuing to be one that's constant with Na'Vi and Fnatic at the top. Can any of those 3 teams start to change that? We're going to find out at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure to join us at live.skillshot.com to not miss any of that action. Trust us, you do not want to be anywhere else at that time. Thanks so much for watching the PGS SEA. I hope Zen enjoys his journey on the country road, and we'll enjoy our journey of a lunch break before we get back to some casting later on. Never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.
Now don't you worry, not a single bit. It's like a voice in my head, and now it's time to reveal it. It's a flow killer beat, and we dance like we back from the dead. And if you want